Ari,
Why?
finally.
Wait, why are we screaming at each other, Jennifer? Jen, yes, hi. I assume you've been worrying and...
Nah, we're good. Marcus recalibrated the portal so we could watch you.
What? You know what? No one here is as normally... No one here is normal about how unnormal this is. Also,
Nice move pointing out the mandate's circular logic, by the way. You're clearly a sharp kid. If I may ask, what are you studying?
Oh, accounting. She's going into her dad's field. Oh, she's... Oh, Ari. She's like, no, I had enough of this shit. I'm going in my dad's field of study.
I have to do philosophy every night. I just want a break while I'm awake.
Right?
I just want to crunch some numbers.
Okay, there we go.
Really?
I mean, like father, like daughter, right? I'm gonna keep fiddling with my knob just a little bit here. There we go.
You're gonna what?
The knob on the volume console. What do you... Don't make this weird. I'm just trying to get myself at a normal volume, okay?
I see. Never considered following in your mother's footsteps.
Woo! You mean becoming so desperate for approval I built an interdimensional portal?
Touché. No harm in accounting, I suppose. I myself pursued a doctorate in theoretical physics and electrical engineering. Had to make the most of the investment, you know?
Wow. I mean, yeah, I guess. Wait, the team my mom's assembled here. So wait, Jen, does Marcus make you feel insecure?
Huh? Why would he do that?
The guy has 2 PhDs. You're still a student. How'd you get involved in this anyway?
Oh, haha.
Jen?
Does she still not know? No, I was trying to save my last vestiges of being normal. Listen, Ari.
Jen, how come you keep swapping your messenger bag from side to side?
I first graduated years ago, when I was 16. Degrees in philosophy, physics, and political science. Political science, even. Political silence.
Wait, you're perfect for this. You should be doing this, not me.
The 3 Ps.
What the hell? Why are
Well, the physics was quantum physics, but I don't say that because it ruins my Ps.
So that's why you never have to study.
Bingo, I enrolled again for the things I missed the first go-round. Mainly parties. Another P.
Are you kidding me? Learn Jen's secret, well, her other secret. Okay, time for my supremely unqualified self to return to mom.
Wait.
What?
Before you go, your phone's been going off like crazy. Maybe, like, check it?
Oh, right, I did call Dad, didn't I? Oh, shit, yeah. Oh, God, I missed like 20 messages from Dad. Hey, dear, what's going on, and where are you? Why aren't you responding, dear? Yeah, I need to deal with this. Hold on. Hey, Dad. I assume you're busy again, but I wanted to follow up. Been keeping an eye on Mom. She's still in the intelligible realm, but she's okay. She got there through a lab behind a bookcase at my school. Honestly, the more I talk about my life, the less it sounds real, so I'm just going to skip over a lot of that. Sounds pretty weird spelled out like that. You know what? Never mind. I'm done making jokes. The game will make them in their own time. Anyway, I'm helping her get the gate open so she can come back. I'm helping her hack into the gate? That's not quite right, but it's close enough. I'll get her out. Everything will be fine. Promise. Bye. Well, that should be settled.
You really think he'll stay out of it? I mean, if Socrates is anything like Pythia...
What's he gonna do? Kill himself just to show up there again? Dad is nothing like Mom. When she first got into politics, he couldn't understand why.
Yeah, Socrates' lack of support for my career choices is like number 3 on Pythia's top 10 historical grievances.
What?
But didn't he also debate all those philosophers? Seems like something she'd totally do.
So, okay, sure, but what's he gonna do? Come all the way from New York City? I only have the mental bandwidth to worry about one parent right now.
Go on then, we're rooting for you.
Also, what if he runs into another deer?
There you are.
Anyone else gonna ask how I can nap on command? Just want to throw that out there real quick. Anyone else gonna ask about that? How are you doing, Mom? You find a sandwich shop?
No, philosophers apparently can't cook. But luckily, here the idea of a sandwich is as nutritious as an actual sandwich.
Okay, that's funny. That's actually pretty funny.
If I just sit here thinking about food... Ah, there, I feel so much better. I had no idea it could work like that. Having a corporeal person here is truly fascinating. Wait, now I've thought about food too much. Oh no, so many imaginary calories.
Okay, alright, hold on. Arbiter, did you choose the next philosopher? That's probably the best way to distract her right now.
Niccolo Machiavelli, you may approach.
I mean, we knew it when we heard the title, but... What? Who the hell is this Dracula flow motherfucker?
You've got to be kidding.
Okay, so they're playing it straight. Okay, fine. That all right.
I assure you, there is nothing humorous about this situation. Niccolo Machiavelli was an Italian nobleman, friend of Leonardo da Vinci, and author of The Prince.
And several other works besides that make it clear that his real beliefs are at odds with what's in The Prince, but you know, just sweep that under the rug. It's funnier this way, all right? And rule of funny wins out.
His ideas are controversial, but you seemed to find Confucius too optimistic, so... I will choose to take that as a compliment. I say what others will not.
Oh no, I hate this. I hate him already.
Yeah, no. Have fun, Adney.
What do you mean? I'm doing this for you. If you don't learn anything, there's literally no point. Again, Mom, really, you can't just dismiss.
Pumpkin, I appreciate your optimism in engaging with different worldviews, but there isn't a politician alive who doesn't know the name Machiavelli.
Okay.
Just imagine the attack ads Tucker would run if he knew we'd met.
Always comes back to the campaign. Always. Fine, I guess I'll handle this one as well.
Really? I'm to face this small child?
And he's got an attitude. Let me guess, you've been slinging bricks since Mansa Musa? Confucius was chill enough. I forgot how wacky some of these philosophers can be.
Very well. I shall wipe the floor with this naive girl. Then perhaps you will all appreciate my ideas.
Can you give him like a Dracula voice? He looks like he needs one.
I don't know how to do it.
Very well. I shall wipe the floor with this naive girl, and then perhaps you shall all appreciate my ideas. Oh. No, we're not going to keep that up for the entire episode? I'm not naive. My father and I debated...
And you believe such experience is relevance. My. I will bring you to the truth of the matter, and these repeated fantasies.
Hello there, Machiavelli.
The primary purpose of all government is to provide stability.
A lot of people go for that as their one go-to. I wonder if we're going to get someone who eventually starts with a different premise for what government is for.
Almost assuredly. But to distribute power among the many, or even the few, is to invite disunity and disorder. Clearly it is best that a single monarch, the prince, maintains the state. During my time, Italy was leaderless, lawless, and beaten, ruined in every way. Families, guilds, priests, and merchants all fought for influence over councils and committees. For years I participated in the Florentine Republic, only to see it fall to the Medici family upon their return.
So that's why you advocate for singular leader?
Si, signora, I told Medici as much. With a strong prince at the helm, perhaps work can actually get done. Nothing is more important than the stability of the state.
Stability first added to the idea slate. Most important role of a government is providing stability. All right. Well, this isn't too bad so far. Only 3 statements, right?
It's 3 statements because he's only presented the very surface, a basic argument for monarchy. That's not even specific to Machiavelli. He's holding back. Novice lessons for the novice.
I should get questioning then. Figure out what's hidden in here. Okay, the primary purpose of all government is to provide stability. Can you clarify that statement for me?
The government's job is to establish and enforce laws. By doing so, it establishes its domain, and within that domain, it must establish order.
Okay. And what evidence do you have to support that statement?
People tend to remain content as long as life remains predictable. But a predictable life requires a stable and secure state. Plans tend to crumble when governments collapse.
Okay, and how's this connected to the rest of your argument?
This establishes the primary purpose of government, which directly leads into how we must structure that government.
Thank you, Niccolo. Niccolo?
Nicci baby.
It comes back!
What?
Isn't there a character in Purple Rain? Wasn't there a character in Purple Rain named Nicci? Am I remembering that correctly?
There's Darling Nicci, a
Darling Nicci,
different
that's
Prince
the song.
song.
Yes.
Okay.
Aha! Brought it back. There's your episode title, SK. You're welcome.
That's good. I'm glad we got there.
I'm glad we worked that out. But to distribute power among the many or even the few is to invite disunity and disorder. Can you clarify that statement real quick?
When you need multiple people to decide anything, you most likely decide nothing.
And what reasoning supports this statement?
Every person brings their own peculiar, petty preferences to decisions. Have too many seats at the dinner table and you will be trapped in arguments instead of enjoying your ravioli.
Shit, no, I want ravioli. Hold on. I'm gonna try that. Oh, that is very filling. Oh, butternut squash. I'd rather have lasagna anyway.
See, petty preferences. Lasagna wasn't even invented until after my death.
What? No lasagna?
Government is no different. We cannot afford the weakness of bickering.
But lasagna. And how's this connected to the rest of your argument?
In your time, the power of the masses is exalted. This must be countered. Establishing the chaos brought by many voices helps us see the strength of one, no?
Okay. Clearly as best a single monarch, the prince maintains the state. And what do you mean by that?
One ruler is ideal, clear enough? The single monarch ideal was fairly common in history. Thomas Hobbes and Thomas Aquinas were two notable supporters.
Right, okay, so I guess this is where Leviathan gets worked in. Which, I guess, fair. It would feel like we're treading a lot of the same ground.
A hit talking point at the Tom convention.
Okay, that's actually funny.
Well, Thomas More certainly wasn't a fan. He was beheaded as a result.
Oh, is that why he's walking around like... Couldn't he fix that if he wanted to? Hey, More! I loved your cameo in Metaphor: Re Fantasio. More like Thomas No More, then. Oh, okay, let's get back to the questions. No one liked that, huh? And what evidence do you have to support that?
If many voices introduce discord, one voice does the opposite. The monarch provides a clear figurehead for all, one who can act decisively and efficiently.
Is efficiency that important? Isn't it worth taking a little time to loop people in?
In affairs of state, threats have to be dealt with immediately. Like tuberculosis, if you wait until symptoms are apparent, it is already too late.
Huh. Interesting. Seems like a core assumption, something that should be in your argument. Oh, we got more. And how's this connected to the rest of your argument?
This is the main thrust of it.
Fair enough. I also think he's not spending time.
The prince can then do all that must be done without distraction or restriction.
Okay, well, what do you mean by all that must be done?
There is nothing holding the prince back from strengthening the state. He can and should do whatever is needed to secure power, using any means.
Any means? But he's not gonna...
Not going to what? Torture? Murder? Assolutamente. Whatever is needed to secure power means whatever is needed. After all, politics have no relation to morals.
Wait, what? Okay, well, I agree with that part, but what? Wait. We can't really be arguing the ideal government is one that discards all morals, can we?
We not only can, we are. The great thinker Ibn Khaldun once said government's role is to prevent injustices other than those it commits itself. But the injustices of the world are great, so the princes must be even greater. Being noble in a world without nobility will only end in tragedy.
But...
Enough. We will proceed to the more advanced lessons.
Oh, okay.
Treachery has always been an element of politics. The prince must act accordingly. A strong hand is required to instill order where otherwise chaos would take hold. Many morals, however, get in the way of strengthening the realm. The prince must discard such principles and put the needs of the state above the needs of the people. Do you see now, girl? If anything, your love of moral philosophy would disqualify you from leadership. To remain in power, the prince must be prepared to do anything.
Well, damn. I didn't realize Sith was a valid philosophy in the intelligible realm.
See what I mean, Adney? Machiavelli's philosophy is the template for countless despots and war criminals. Are these really ideas you want to entertain?
Funny, I was just thinking about how similar this is to what you said earlier.
What?
The high road doesn't work. If you believe that, then why shouldn't we take the lowest? Whatever you need to win, right, Mom? Right, Mom? Seems to me his ideas might have a pull on any cynic. I might even adopt some of his behaviors without realizing.
So you find my philosophy disturbing. This much is clear. But can you find logical fault in it?
Well, why don't we find out? Let's go, Niccolo. You know, I always thought you had, like, green skin. And you hung out with Goku?
Now I need Piccolo Machiavelli.
Treachery has always been an element of politics. The prince must act accordingly. All right, can you clarify that statement for me?
No amount of nobility can save a king from a knife in the back. The leader must be a cunning fox and recognize such traps before they are sprung.
Okay, and what evidence do you have to support this statement?
I could list many historical examples. Agathocles, who became king of Syracuse through criminality and later had an excellent grindcore band named after him.
Oh, really? There's a grindcore band named Agathocles?
Yeah, they're great.
Awesome.
Oliver Otto, who killed his own uncle for power and probably did not end up with a grindcore band.
Well, that one's still on the table then.
It's still on the table. When the previous leaders let down their guard, these men seized control. Such is the reality of the Game of Thrones. The endings can be messy.
Oh, are you watching that?
As I said,
really good. I hope it's probably gonna have a really good ending too, right?
As I said, the endings can be messy.
What are you talking about? We're only at, like, how many seasons in at this point?
We got a new chapter of the Epic of Gilgamesh before we got the next book in Game of Thrones.
I forgot about that. We did Gilgamesh. Isn't that right, you petty mongrels? And how's this connected to the rest of your argument?
If the world was just, perhaps the tactics I describe would be less necessary. Necessary.
Oh.
But we are not here to deal in fantasy, are we?
Fair enough. A strong hand is required to instill order where otherwise chaos would take hold. Can you clarify what you mean here?
In order to create security, the prince must deal with problems as a ferocious lion, striking without reservation. Might makes right, and the prince must always be right.
Yeah, what evidence do you have to support that?
Every government is subject to the whims of Fortuna. Famine, flooding, attacks from without. The prince must have the will to defeat these whims, otherwise the state will collapse. To this end, there is nothing more important than the development of the army, constantly preparing for war.
Threats from without added to the idea slate. Okay.
At the same time, the prince must have the strength of arms to control his own people, attacks from within. Without adequate constraints on his subjects, he will be deposed. There is always someone who believes they would make a better prince.
And threats from within added to idea slate. I just, something really interesting just kind of calcified for me.
Yeah?
It's not like a revolutionary thought, it's just something I finally had, words to put to. Is that, this is the idea of of a state being more important than the people that make up that state. Again, it's not like a super, revelatory thought, or it's just I finally have the words to kind of express what it's like. The idea is that the existence of this state is a much more important, much more noble goal than the existence of the lives of the people that make up that state.
And we haven't seen that idea take on various horrifying forms with severe consequences for humanity throughout history, have we?
No. Couldn't say. Never.
But it's also interesting when you think about, the political landscape of his time, and in which something like our modern nation states wasn't so much a thing, especially in Italy, which was a gaggle of weird little city-states and merchant republics and noble families controlling small regions but not others, and the Catholic Church controlling a big swath smack through the middle of it, and so on.
It was a lot more... The idea of a state was much different. Not different, but the scope of a state in Machiavelli's time and place was orders of magnitude different from the order of a state of something like the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anyway, and how's that connected to the rest of your argument?
It establishes that strength is the most essential tool in maintaining security. How else can the prince overcome all that threatens the state?
Good point. Many morals, however, get in the way of strengthening the realm. Oh wait, before we go on, let's take a look at specifically what we got here. So we've got stability first. Most important role of government is providing stability. A ruler must be strong enough to overcome any external threat, and a ruler must do everything possible to prevent unrest among the people. Is that what that means?
Is what means?
Dealing with threats from within? I thought the idea was more like a ruler must, the exact opposite of the without one. A ruler must be strong enough to overcome any internal threat as well, not prevent it.
I mean, this sounds like a way of saying the same thing.
I guess. And can you clarify your statement for me, buddy?
If the prince is too busy fretting about right or wrong, he will not be able to do what needs to be done. The ability to do what must be done. I call it virtù.
Did you just define virtue as the opposite of virtue?
So what if I did? If I recall, in your time literally means the opposite of literally, no? It's true, nothing is sacred.
I will die on that hill.
Hopefully not literally.
Oh, exactly! Exactly! I will metaphorically die on that hill. However, I also believe there's a difference between using literally... We've had this conversation before. I'm not repeating all this, am I? There's a difference between literally and what the word means, using the word literally to purposely invoke a sense of I'm meaning it the opposite, where I'm requiring that you understand what it actually means in order to understand that I'm misusing it, and then using literally to just mean not that. There's three different things there. The first two I'm okay with. I'm okay with misusing the word literally if that's your intention with it. But I'm not okay lazily using literally to mean not literally. Fight me in the comments, I don't care. That was after literally everyone was already using it that way. Not because one Italian dude decided it should be. Anyway, what evidence do you have to support your statement, buddy?
Generosity, honesty, kindness, such values are shackles.
I'm hearing that in Goro Akechi's voice.
Without them, the prince is better equipped to protect his power. The right thing is often not in the state's interest.
How long does it take you to do your eyebrows? They're stunning.
For example, social welfare leads to greater comfort for citizens. A compassionate prince may find this appealing. Such a kind prince will also keep the peace with an ally fallen to hard times, honor historical treaties, and leave them undisturbed. But this prince would wind up destitute, coffers dry, defenses broken, his people crying for programs he can no longer support. Don't spend your own money. Invade other countries, take their money, and spend that instead. The people won't care if prosperity comes from the suffering of those they do not know. An economic model that notably didn't work very well for anybody who tried it. Usually a negative-sum game, war. Even if you come out of it with loot, you've probably come out of it in a worse-off situation economically overall than if you hadn't.
It's also incredible to just assert that people won't care if their comfort comes at the lives of others, or at the discomfort of others.
But that's also the bit I find most plausible that he's said so far, because we see an object lesson in that anytime we log onto the internet.
That's true. But also I think about it in the case of like, I don't know, man. I don't want my country doing shit to support, let's say, tacitly support genocide overseas, even if that makes things easier, quote unquote, for us by keeping one of our allies happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, purely hypothetical scenario there. How's this connected to the rest of your argument, by the way?
This directly supports my central point. Morals are contrary to effective leadership.
Isn't that morals are contrary or morals are not related to?
He's kind of said it both ways, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's not important for the thrust of his argument. I just find it an interesting distinction. Like, is he saying that, like, in a situation where what the prince needs to do is actually happens to be in line with good morals, he wouldn't do that? Or is he saying that, it's not important? I like getting hung up on weird little technicalities.
Yeah, it's a matter of, is the argument that to be the proper prince, you must be amoral, or is it that you must be immoral?
Right, exactly.
Because those are two pretty different positions.
The prince must discard such principles, but put the deeds of the state above the needs of the people. And what do you mean by that?
Morals have no place in governance. The well-being of the people is secondary to the security of the state.
And what evidence do you have to support that, buddy?
My previous statements support this. No, a prince who rules without mercy is a prince who keeps the throne.
And how's that connected to the rest of your argument?
This is the summation of my argument. It is not enough to have strength. You must have no qualms about using it. This is interesting. I don't immediately know which of these is meant to be the one we...
Well, let's see what the consult thing says.
You should admit defeat now, girl. Pretty or not, this is the most stable form of government.
He's trying to present a logical argument for merciless dictatorships. There's plenty of those in history. What's defeated them in the past? I'll turn his twisted Star Wars logic against him.
So is it meant to be that we present threats from within or something? That ruling like this causes unrest, which is the thing we're trying to prevent?
That. Yeah.
But to which one? Or is it that ruling amorally causes threats from within to grow?
Many morals get in the way of strengthening the realm. But the whole point is to do everything possible to strengthen your realm. Well, that's not right. Princes put the needs of the state above the needs of the people. But a ruler must do everything possible to prevent unrest among people.
Okay, let's try that.
Yeah, because that seems like a direct contradiction. Or at least, like, he's saying, put the needs of the state above the needs of the people. But part of what he needs to do is actually address the needs of the people.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it, Buddy Pumpkins?
Nonsense.
Oh, do you see the nice smooth animation when she rolls in and
Oh, yeah.
Machiavelli, if that is your real name. You claim the job of a ruler is to establish stability, correct?
Corretto.
And is that a kind of Starbucks order?
Indeed, cafe corretto. It's the one where you get
A little bit of
coffee and then like a little drop of
liquor in
like
it?
grappa or something in it.
Yeah. God, we need to get grappa again. I need to get
Shit tastes like paint thinner.
I know, but grappa's great. I will defend grappa. Grappa is awesome. And yes, I do need some paint thinner. That just happens to be beside the point. And in order to establish stability, a ruler must be ruthless?
Indeed, the prince must play both the cunning fox and the ferocious lion.
Ha-cha-cha?
Such is the only way to defeat Fortuna.
Okay, and the whims of fortune. Right. So tell me, Machiavelli. That rhymed. While defeating the whims of fortune, can you also defeat the whims of your people?
What?
Machiavelli, you say rulers should be dishonest and treacherous when it serves. They must enforce their will with strength, rule with an iron fist. The strength of a single prince is limited, and as the prince expands his domain and seizes resources as you advise, the number of subjects will grow. What stops the people from mustering all their strength to overthrow him? Such a turn of events seems highly likely, if not inevitable.
Excellent observation, Ariadne. History has countless examples of deposed tyrants.
Thanks, Arbiter. Exactly, and time and time again, despotic rulers have come to power. But eventually people realize they, together, have more power than those who lord over them. No single fist is irony enough to take on an entire population, not even the most ironic fist.
That's not what ironic. Nonsense. The people will rise up. No. How foolish a leader would have to be to let that happen.
But it's happened time and time again. I said that. You can't. I said it. You can't just say no.
Actuality is in fact an absolute proof of possibility.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I'm trying to think of a case where that's not true. Where something actually happening is not in fact an absolute proof of possibility. I'm going to get stuck on that later on. If you have that'll be what I'm thinking about tonight.
Only because rulers fail to deploy the correct methods to keep the masses in check. Allow me to explain the tools at the prince's disposal. In order to prevent rebellion, the prince must ensure that people fear him.
Oh, good. That'll work.
A few acts of merciless cruelty are needed to make would-be rebels cower, but the prince must not be hated. To offset the ire of the people, he must maintain the personal appearance of justice. The prince must therefore do what is needed to recruit agents to enforce his will.
So you're saying the prince must do everything in his power to maintain control and can't trust anyone else to do that, so he's got to recruit people to do that for him.
Constantly reminded of the prince's power, peasants would not dare step out of line. Bene. You see, power breeds resentment. Hatred is gained as much by good works as by evil. Love and fear are both desirable, but if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared.
Didn't he literally write that? I feel like that's an adaptation of something that was, yeah.
Only when the people know you are strong will they follow your commands.
Damn! Who changed your BGM? Control requires fear. Machiavelli believes the only way to prevent betrayal is to maintain fear. Okay, sure.
Consider the Arbiter. He uses fear quite effectively to maintain control of this realm. Excuse me, I absolutely do not use fear to rule. A superb demonstration. His yelling is very dramatic, see? And the skull mask, yes, quite intimidating. But this mask is merely ceremonial. It is how people know I hold my position.
Machiavelli's just digging into this idea of ruling by fear.
I learned long ago that people with such abhorrent ideas are not interested in rational debate. They argue for these positions because it offers some advantage to them. Power, control, or just the airtime and attention being awful gets them. Some, perhaps, but as you said, you have before you the template. The prince is my defining work. I am here to defend its influence.
Well, then, let's put your template to the test. Your template to the test plate. Ooh, hold on. Ooh. Hold on, I'm jamming. There it is. Doo 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 doo. Sorry, I'm the soundtrack to the first game was really, it went really hard for how like small of a game it was.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the moment to appreciate the music, all right? No one could see me dancing on the couch, but I promise you I was. All right, in order to prevent rebellion, the prince must ensure the people fear him. And what do you mean by that, buddy? Vivian's away from microphone right now.
It is ideal if the people think the prince is great, but it is essential that they know he must not be crossed.
And what evidence do you have to support that?
My evidence will come shortly.
Oh, right. This is the opening of your argument. Right. Okay. But why not now?
Because here I wish only for the full power of this concept to be felt. If you wish for elaboration, question my following statements.
Because not every statement is in need of backing, Ariadne. Some are used for different things. How's that connected to the rest of your argument, buddy?
This is my overall point. The rest of my statements provide evidence and methodology.
Turning with the conclusion. What a bad boy. We're making fun, a little bit of fun, because it's funny to get to show Ariadne kind of bumbling around with some of the obvious stuff. But the way this game is written is actually remarkably helpful.
Yeah.
Like if you like genuinely, if you are having trouble understanding some of these concepts or what he's trying to do with them, the way the game like has many ways to re-explain things, provide examples to back it up, and connect it into the rest of what he's saying to make sure you follow along. That is really good. These are ideas we're already familiar with from studying them, but if it's something that you've encountered for the first time and are legitimately having trouble like putting together, this game does a great job of making sure you have the tools to get there. And that is really cool.
Side note, why is Machiavelli's idol pose the ASL for vagina?
It is! It is! That's what that is. Is there a different thing that pose means?
Probably.
You showed me a photo. Yeah, that's what that is. That's what he's doing. I don't know. Subliminal messaging?
I do like that the outfit is from the classic portrait of the dude that you'll see on the cover of The Prince and so on.
Oh,
so
dude, really?
That's a great
what
recreation.
Is with his cheeks?
I don't know.
Dude really did have a great widow's peak, huh? Anyway.
A few acts of merciless cruelty are needed to make would-be rebels cower.
All right, and what do you mean by that, buddy?
If you torture and execute a few citizens, others will think twice before starting the rebellions you mentioned. If injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe vengeance need not be feared.
Injury has to be done to it. That vengeance need not be feared.
If you've got to hurt a guy, hurt him so bad he can never hurt you back.
Yeah. I'm also thinking, isn't that whole all or nothing thing, was that Utopia? Where like
I don't
there's only where it was like there's only one punishment for everything, and that punishment is death. Was that where that came from?
I don't know, but now I want to know.
Because
I hope more comes up in this.
Like, the argument being that like if you punish the same, if punishment is always severe, all you do is encourage people to keep doing worse things, because the punishment for shoplifting is the same as the punishment for murder. I don't know that that's where we're arguing with him here, but like if what they have to fear, no matter what they do, is the same. All you're telling them is that there's nothing to lose by going small. Or there's nothing to lose by going big, right? If you're going to go small, you're going to be punished the same way as if you did something huge. So why not? Anyway, that's...
Moore does indeed make that argument that one shouldn't... It doesn't make sense for the punishment for theft to be the same as for murder.
Yeah. It's terrible. Why not just be kinder?
Light punishments do little to stem the tide of disrespect. Act decisively up front, and you need no further cruelty later. No one else will risk the same fate.
Yeah, what evidence do you have to support that statement, Buddy Bumpkins?
Love is a bond of obligation these miserable creatures break whenever it suits them to do so. But fear holds them fast by a dread of punishment that never passes. Once again, behold the arbiter. When one of us disrespects the rules of debate, he quickly disciplines us. Don't be a Euthyphro. Know what you don't know.
Wow, shots fired at that guy. He did nothing wrong. He was just a little bit excited.
Please stop using me as an example. I don't rule with fear. You did hold my daughter and my ex hostage last time they were here.
They literally died, ma'am.
Ugh, I did not hold them hostage. I gave them another chance to live. The character implications are completely different. If you insist, Arbiter, it is not our place to disagree with you. Exactly. Wait, no!
And how's that connected to the rest of your argument, buddy?
It provides specific and precise methodology to create fear. No?
I like how people always end their statements with no. Like, are you disagreeing with me? We agree on this, right? Right? I can take this for granted? Anyway, Prince must not be hated. To offset the ire of the people, he must maintain the personal appearance of justice. Wait, what do you mean by that?
While the prince should be ruthless in practice, he can still create an aura of kindness. Those who want to kill him are less likely to act if they believe doing so would be unpopular.
Yeah, what evidence do you have to support that statement?
As a public figure, everyone has a broad impression of you, but few see who you really are. So it is less important that the prince possesses virtuous qualities, and more that he seems to possess them. Pope Alexander VI never did anything but trick people, made grand promises, but never kept them. People still followed him. Ferdinand of Aragon kept preaching peace and trust and living the opposite. I'm sure there are examples from your era as well, though if they are truly effective, people will disagree on who they are.
And how is this connected to the rest of your argument?
This establishes yet another way the prince, through wit and will, can placate the masses.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine a major public figure, constantly preaching, these virtuous things, while demonstrably, repeatedly, on recording, doing the opposite? Just wild times we would be living in if that were true. The prince must therefore do all that is needed to recruit agents to enforce his will. Do all that is needed. Last time you said something that vague, it meant torture and murder.
It does not mean torture and murder here.
Okay, good to know. So what does it mean?
The prince would ingratiate himself with agents in order to court them. An occasional reward, very occasional now, would give this group something to aspire to. Incentive to serve.
Like a pizza party?
If they desire pizza, but most will seek other rewards. Gold, glory, power of their own. Such things are surely appealing.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, we got the statement updated. Okay. The prince must therefore court agents to enforce his will by providing them with favors and greater power. Okay, so that makes it clear, whatever is needed actually meant. Hey, can you clarify this further?
By extending his power through agents, the prince exerts control more broadly. These agents will be won over with the power and privileges of their own positions. A little positive reinforcement for extending the prince's will.
Right, the old skim a little bit off the top for yourself. What evidence do you have to support that statement?
This follows the logic of your own argument, no? A selection of loyal forces grant the prince more power to control than he would have alone, so the prince must recruit the needed surrogates. with gold, favors, the occasional pizza party, as you say. For such rewards, the agents will carry out the grimmest tasks, allowing the prince to present as pure. Yes, by doing so, a prince would most effectively calm the masses. And if the people rise up, it will be against a surrogate that is easily replaced.
And how's that connected to the rest of your argument?
This is an essential element of it.
Okay, but how?
It directly counters your earlier statement about the people gathering power, showing how the prince can amass more himself.
Oh, well, thank you for telling me that. I really appreciate that. Constantly reminded of the prince's power, peasants would not dare step out of line. And what do you mean by that?
Fear of reprisal will keep the resistance you described from ever manifesting. The spark of revolution smothered before the flame.
All right. And what evidence do you have to support that statement?
I feel this is fairly intuitive, no, if my previous statements stand. If those who would resist are afraid, and less want to resist because they do not blame the prince himself, yes, the prince's power will be secure.
How's that connected to the rest of your argument?
This is, if anything, a reiteration of it. I cannot overemphasize how essential fear is in keeping control.
Okay. And now let's do our consultation. All this talk of fear reminds me of when we debated Thomas Hobbes last time, but more awful. Can you remember that guy? Ugh. Speaking of which, where is Hobbes? If we're exploring political philosophy... Okay, good.
Lampshading it.
They brought it up.
He went on vacation.
Hobbes went on vacation?
He said he wanted to reconnect with the brutish state of nature and went backpacking. Last I heard, he was enjoying himself, roasting the idea of marshmallows over the idea of fire. Either way, Hobbes' moral and political philosophies are quite entwined. It would have been retreading ground.
Well, back to Machiavelli then. So find out why Hobbes didn't RSVP to the political party.
That's good.
That's another achievement. I was wondering, because we name dropped that, right? In the very beginning, we're like, oh yeah, we're going to have to cover that. And like, nope. Which means you don't have to hear me do that Mr. Jones voice again. To keep canon. All right, so let's see what we have to work with here.
It's totally going to be the control requires fear.
The only way to prevent betrayal is to maintain fear.
Because he brings up, we want agents. And he says, oh, well, to get agents, we got to reward them. We give them favors and power. But rewards, according to what he said,
exactly,
isn't good enough.
Because, like, what makes these people different from the people you're controlling by fear? That means these people also need to fear you?
That's what I think, at least, is going to be.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Nonsense.
What is it now, girl?
Let's say I believe you. Let's say fear is the most effective tool in preventing betrayal. And also the mind killer.
Let's say you are merely too proud to admit you've come around to my abhorrent views.
Regardless, in such a case, skilled agents would be quite the asset, right? By using them to spread fear, Prince could certainly succeed at controlling the people. But, tell me, Machiavelli, same agency and power with favors and gifts, what controls them?
Ugh.
Oh, wait, hold on. Ooh! Yeah! Wait. Is that the main theme?
I don't know.
Machiavelli, the approach you describe is unsustainable. Even if fear is an effective tool as you believe, the agents required to sustain it will be your undoing. The favors you grant to earn their loyalty makes them, through your own logic, less controllable. There's nothing to stop them from turning against their prince.
That does make sense. Well, perhaps if you limited the number of agents.
Any number of agents is the threat to the prince's power, right? And as more and more citizens gather under the rule of your prince, the need for such agents will only grow. But with each tool you forge to control the people, you're also forging your own downfall. Dictatorships are not only overthrown by the people themselves, you know. They're often toppled by the military or by officers in their own government. Whatever form your enforcers take, eventually they will enforce their will against you.
But the prince...
Face it, Machiavelli. The truth is undeniable. To be ruthless is to make everyone a potential enemy. And for that reason, a despot's rule is a doomed one. For any prince or princess, ruling through fear is not enough. Or prince... What's the gender-neutral version?
Princeps.
Princeps?
No, princeps is just Latin for prince.
Oh. Princex?
Yeah, there we go.
Princex. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. How you doing, Buddy Bumpkins?
No. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Machiavelli. I was not strong enough. Fortuna has swept my last work away.
Your last work?
I was a writer of histories, of comedies. I never expected the prince to be so ubiquitous. I was exiled from the Florentine court while I wrote it, yes. I wanted to earn back their favor. I shared it with a very limited audience while alive.
Oh, so we are okay.
To be honest, it was so long ago, I'm not even sure I truly believed what I proposed. Did I intend it as a satire, a warning, rather than a guide? The other philosophers here seem to have mixed opinions on the matter. Oh, come on. Why defend it so rigorously, then?
Because it's the last thing he's known for? Oh no, are we actually going to get that? Oh, that's so sad.
It no longer matters whether I believed it or not. It is my lasting contribution to the world. The prince is what I am known for. Machiavellian is a term for the worst of rulers. I am the patron saint of monsters, and I will never be anything else.
Shit.
Adio, principessa.
Well, now I feel bad.
That's interesting. We didn't get into my favorite line of argument against this kind of stuff at all.
Yeah?
Suppose all of that is true.
Yeah.
How can the prince be effective? Prince needs to make good decisions. And
Yep.
to do that needs correct information and needs a correct understanding of the world and so on.
And how can you get a correct understanding of the world if people aren't willing to challenge you?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, could you imagine just surrounding yourself with an entire group of cronies and yes men who are never willing to tell you when you're wrong about something and will only ever support anything you say blindly? Could you imagine? It would just be so terrible. Anyway, well, glad that's over.
Agreed. This whole debate has made me feel very insecure. I'm sure you're not nearly as tyrannical as Machiavelli made you out to be, Arbiter. Though that was an effective bit of intimidation you used to stop his breakdown. I think we've spent quite enough time exploring the dark side of philosophy. I'm going to make sure your next opponent is someone more positive.
Oh, we were going to talk to Nicci last time, but we never got to.
Well, as fun as it was to see Machiavelli face the damage he's done, we haven't advanced my campaign at all. We should incorporate some memorable slogans. Unlock the gate to a new future. Or, belief in America opens all doors.
Okay, can I just reiterate something real quick? We're not going to be able to prove your perspective to the gate, Mom. There are so many possible systems out there. Why are you so stuck on convincing everyone that yours is the best?
You remember your grandma and grandpa were turnip farmers, right?
Okay, even if I didn't, your ads would remind me, Mom.
It's not just a story for the ads. Their dedication and toil put me through college. That education's the reason I am who I am. The reason I met your father, had you, and ran for office. Everything good in my life I owe to them. And if I pull this off, I can give others the opportunities they gave me.
Yeah, but... Can you pull it off? Oh, Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean I don't believe in you. It's just our politics are... Huh?
Adney, I know politics can be difficult, can make our lives difficult, but I've made them work. I've had to make some uncomfortable compromises, missed a dinner or two.
A dinner or two?
But I've funded Capra, saved schools, fought corruption. If I win this election, I can do even more.
I don't care about the missed dinners. You were there when it mattered. What I do care about is how many hoops you...
Is this going to be Socrates?
Wake up.
Or is it going to be, is it going to be somebody from the outside world
Yeah.
telling her to wake
Hold
up?
on. You hear something?
I
I think it might be Jen.
No.
Weird. As I was saying, just because you've done some good doesn't mean that...
Ariadne, please.
Wait, Mom? I think someone's trying to...
Ariadne, wake up. Oh, we're doing social contract this next time. That's good.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
I forget, is that Rousseau?
Maybe? I'm not going to pretend to be familiar with Rousseau's work, so...
Neither am I.
But either way, I hope you'll join us next time for social contract stuff. That'll be that's a lot of fun. I hope, again, you all are having a lot of fun with this, as we are, and that, like, either you are someone who is familiar with some philosophy on some level and having a good time following along, or someone who's being exposed to this stuff for the first time and maybe is getting a little more interested. It's a really fun time.
It is. Philosophy is cool and worth your
philosophy
time.
is genuinely very fun, and it just changes your entire way of thinking, and I think that's really something I'd like to be able to share with more people. Anyway, we'll see you all next time, everyone. Bye.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.